Well, hello there everyone, this is Cloud Chief and I am bringing you an instructional video on how to solo the first part, the Abyss, in Crota's End. To be able to do this, you need to have Bladedancer almost maxed out, and you will need the exotic special weapon, Patience and Time. By using Hunter and the Patience and Time's invisibility, you're able to get through the vast majority of the stage without being seen and get to the end relatively easy without using any glitches or cheats or anything. When you're going in, you want your Bladedancer set up like this. Grenades don't really matter, whatever's your favorite. Jump doesn't really matter because you're not going to really jump. I like the higher jump. Arc Blade, you want to have Vanish on because you want to be able to disappear. For Blink Strike, you want Escape Artist on. You want to make sure you have increase the duration of invisibility, and then you want Stalker, where you gain invisibility when you crouch in place. And then you want to focus on armor, then agility. Recovery is not really necessary, so these are the two best options in my opinion. Because recovery doesn't really matter, you just want to be able to take hits for if and when thralls do see you. You want to be able to move around the best you can while your invisibility is in place with Weight of Darkness, because that will slow you down. Mainly the main trick you need to learn to use is this. You need to have your Patience and Time out. This isn't really going to come into effect until the end, but there might be some times you might want to use it earlier. Basically, you zoom in so your invisibility kicks in, so you're invisible, so you can move around as need be. What you need to do is time it, so now I'm going to duck, let off, and see how I was like uninvisible for like half a second. That wasn't even enough time for the enemies to register me. So before going in, I recommend practicing that, aiming down sight so you're getting your invisibility, and then duck, and then stop aiming down sight right before your other invisibility kicks in, because that is another very important part. Invisibility does not stack, so if you are already invisible and then for some reason you kick off another invisibility while still invisible, you're going to lose. That second ability isn't going to go to effect, and you're only going to have invisibility for as long as it is the first time. So that's why you want to get good at timing your invisibility on and off. That is really the key to getting through this part. And now we're going to move on to the lamp part. If you enjoyed this video and thought there were some good strategies in it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Okay, so when you get to the bottom here, you want to obviously make sure you're lined up to head towards the first light. And you want to make sure all of your Weight of Darkness is off. By standing in the circle right at the start, it will remove your Weight of Darkness. And then for the most part, you want to try and just use your crouching invisibility. Try and save your super for emergencies and the end only. And then use Blink Strike as need be for invisibility, but try and keep that as little as possible. Try and rely mostly on your crouching for invisibility. And obviously use your secondary if need be. For primary weapons, I like using the Fatebringer, just because it's great for like thralls and small trash mobs for AoEs. But any weapon will do. I'm probably not even going to shoot going through here. And yeah, you want to try and just keep invisibility as much as possible. Stay near the lamps if you can, to get Weight of Darkness off. And then just move on to the next one as soon as you can. You don't necessarily need to wait for your invisibility to be back up, because sometimes the thralls will be going for where they last saw you. But yeah, just try and keep invisibility up and keep moving. If you have to move without invisibility to be safe, that's fine. Obviously, survival takes precedence over everything else, but being able to get through here invisible obviously makes it much easier, which is why this can only really be done with Hunter unless you're using a glitch. So the best thing to do if you don't know the path is just keep following the lamps. You can obviously use this video as a guide for how to get through, but you just keep going for the lamps. If you need, you just get to the next lamp, look around, and you'll see the next one. If you ever don't really see a lamp and you're confused which way to go, it's typically to the right or up a hill. That's only if you don't see another lamp. Pretty much all the other times you should see a lamp, and that should give you the direction of which way to go. So obviously just rinse and repeat, move along, try and stay alive. There are 2 knights. There's a knight on the other side of this lamp. Just try and, you know, avoid contact with him. If you need to, you can go ahead and kill him. It's best if you don't shoot at all, because shooting will attract the enemies. And since you're the only one in here, you shooting, they're all going to come running towards you. So it's really best if you avoid shooting unless it's absolutely necessary. Another trick which I have done, and it does make it easier, at least getting up until the end part, is actually having a friend come in while you're trying to get through here. Your friend can be any class he wants. You would still have to be Hunter to get through here, especially for the end part. But you can start running through, and pretty much what you would want your friend to do would be stay at the start and just try and shoot and kill as many thralls as possible. By doing that, that draws the attention, and until you get more than halfway through the lamp part, the thralls for the most part will ignore the invisible person running through. After they get about halfway through, it'll start to kind of like freak it out, because it'll start despawning stuff at the start and spawning things, you know, midway as they start popping, and they'll start going more for you. So at that point, the friend should start trying to go through it and follow the exploded lamps. They'll obviously be red, and try and get through and start making noise just to try to attract the thralls. It's going to be, so once you're about halfway through, if you're doing it with a friend, until you get about 3/4 of the way through, you're going to have to obviously deal with them like you normally would, but it does make it significantly easier. If the friend gets to a certain part, I don't know exactly where it is, it can make the end easier because it'll start attracting them, but that's about it. So once you get to the end here, you just go stand on this for a few seconds while it activates. It's activated now because you see the symbols, and it says Fire Team Revives Re-enabled. So at this point it's starting, and pretty much what you want to do is you need to hide. This is where you want to use the aim down sight with the patience and time, and then time it with your crouch. This is where it's going to be like imperative that works, especially because at this part you're going to be stuck with you know, ×10 weight of darkness. So you're going to be slow to move. So you need to be able to try and stay invisible as much as possible. Only use your super in a pinch if it's going to keep you alive, because obviously it's best for survival here. So you want to try and stay alive as best as possible. If you can not use your super to stay up, it's best to do that and save your super for once the bridge activates. Because as soon as the bridge activates, weight of darkness will be off and you can just run, which is why having your super is definitely good to have at that point, because that way you have the longest time where you stay invisible, and you can kind of get more maneuverability around any mobs that might be near the bridge, because of having a third-person perspective, because you're having your super go off because of Bladedancer. So, honestly, at this part, just don't even shoot. Just do whatever you can to stay invisible and try and stay away from the mobs. Definitely make sure you're using your radar. If you can, you want to make sure you're not in the immediate vicinity when you're dropping your invisible. Obviously, if you have to do it, do it. And then avoid the pits. There's one pit, obviously the one right there by the lamp, and there's another one off to the right. Just try to avoid them as best you can. And just, yeah, use the aim down sight and then duck to keep your invisibility up. If you do it right, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem. And this part's relatively easy. It might take a few times when you're first learning it to get it down, but once you have it down, it's pretty simple and easy. Like I said, you just keep yourself invisible for as much as you can, and, you know, work your way around until the bridge is done. Bridge is open for me. See, Weight of Darkness is off. So I'm getting some distance. Yep. Pop my super. Getting Viz up. And now it's pretty much just a straight shot. See, I could very easily just avoid the enemies. There's not even enemies past the bridge. So that is an easy win. Let's hope I get some, raid gear or something good out of it. So it's not too hard to solo if you're Hunter. It's definitely worth it in my opinion to get drops. If you like this video and you want more like soloing or strategy type videos, definitely hit the like, favorite, and subscribe button. And that way I can continue to bring you more videos. I hope you enjoyed this, and may you have success in all you do.